Okay, in this video, you're gonna learn everything you need to know about the Bedwars Item Rotation. If you are just trying to find out about one single item, there are gonna be bookmarks of this video, so you can just click on the bottom and find the item you need to, see. Just to start off, there's the Sugarkin, which costs 24 iron and gives you 4 sugarkins. The sugarkins themselves are interesting, because they're pretty much snowballs, but they don't, follow gravity, I guess. They just fly in a straight line, just like fireballs do. The next item is the, what's it called, the ice bridge, which costs 5 gold, and spawns a ice bridge. The thing about this ice bridge is it is like a better bridge egg, essentially, because it's cheaper, because it costs gold, and, what's it called? And it's also faster because you're walking on ice. I'm not exactly sure of this, but I believe it goes 32 blocks. I don't know if that's more or less than a bridge egg, because bridge eggs can be slightly random, depending on which way you throw it. But even though it might go less distance, I still feel like it's just essentially a better bridge egg because of the speed increase when you're running on ice. It's just, I don't know, kind of just makes it better and cheaper, so yeah. The next item that there was the sugar cookie, which costed, I believe it was 1 emerald and gave speed 3 and jump boost 4 for 15 seconds. Although the sugar cookie gave the effects for less time, I think it's sort of a good trade, because say if you're drinking jump and speed, you'd have to drink jump and then speed, but with the sugar cookie you're just eating a cookie, which it's kind of 2 in 1, and if you're just trying to get out of a situation, you can just eat a sugar cookie and jump boost bridge up. The next item on the list is it's called the Festivity Mine. This one was kind of fun, because I'll just get into it in the next game. Alright, so like I was saying last game about the Festivity Mine, I didn't really say much because the game ended, but it costs 4 gold and can be placed under enemies, and it has no blast time, it just instantly explodes. Personally, the Festivity Mine was one of my favorites just because of how funny it was. I liked kind of just placing it under people, mid-fight, because then they just get launched up, and yeah. It could be triggered by other, or can't be triggered by you, or if you're playing a teams mode, your teammates. It can only be triggered by other teams, which is good, so you don't accidentally blow yourself up. But a little bit sad that you can't, instantly TNT jump with it, because that would be pretty cool, because it is a pressure plate, so if you just jumped on it, and it would just launch you. Actually, that could be another item, but, that would be cool. The next item is the chicken turret, which costs 40 iron, and it was just a chicken spawn egg, and once you spawned it in, it shot 10 eggs, and then did kind of like a death animation thing, where just spun around and shot eggs in different directions, and then it would die. The thing that was kind of unique about the chicken turret was that it actually dropped healing, which I don't think any other thing has done before. It was essentially instant health potions. It would drop a piece of chicken, which would stack up to 64, just like normal chicken. Yeah. Focus for a second, sorry. This chicken could be instantly consumed, and it would heal 1, definitely looked like better than 3 blocks, sure. This is why I blocked your reach display. If you were to be in say a box fight, where you're just kind of trading, you can just heal yourself back up instantly, instead of the alternative, which is gapping, which would take a second, because you'd probably get crit out during that. The next items that I'll go into next game are the, what's it called, the portable stuff. So that's the portable Enderchest and the portable shop, which were quite interesting items, to be honest. Alright. Okay, so the thing about that week's, portable set of items was that the reason that those are at bases is because, that's the only place they should be. You shouldn't be able to buy stuff while at middle, which is essentially what they did, because they added a portable shopkeeper. And that week was actually the first week they did 2 items in, 1 week rotation. and the other item that came with it was the portable Enderchest. Alright, so the thing about the portable Enderchest is that it actually is an item already in Ultimate Bed Wars. If you use the Gather Ultimate, which gives you an Enderchest that can be placed anywhere, which is pretty close to how the portable Enderchest worked, except the Enderchest would actually be placed down and disappear after, I believe it was 10 seconds. From the name of the item, you can pretty much already determine what it does, because it really just is a portable Enderchest, which just means an Enderchest that can be like moved around and be used anywhere. I think I just stick to the main thing I said at the start of this game, which was that the items, there's a reason that they spawn at bases, and that's just because they're supposed to be there, and those are like the main reason that bases are a thing. It's where you can buy stuff and where you can store things. And that's that item, or those items. The next items are the Throwable TNT and the Miracle of the Stars. The Throwable TNT, because they're rotating them, is actually the current, or one of the current items that is in the rotation right now. And I can actually demonstrate. Oh, no I can't, because it's actually 6 gold. That's one of the things I should say about it. It is 6 gold, which, you know, isn't really worth it, in my opinion. Because I feel like when they say throwable, it should be like, I don't know, actually throwable. Because when it's thrown, it goes like, maybe like 4 blocks or something. It doesn't get thrown that far. I had like a lot higher expectations for it, I'd say. Like at least from like here to there. I don't think you can even make it with the Throwable TNT. I'm gonna try right now. If I go from here. It also lags back. That's something that should be mentioned about it. And then Miracle of the Stars is probably one of the more unique items in the Bed Wars item rotation. Just because of like, you know, 12 gold to pretty much bring your teammates back to their base. Like I said, wait, oops. Something I should mention about the Miracle of the Stars is a lot of people, I remember a lot of people saying that it's like useless in solos, but what it does in solos is actually just bring you back to your base. The next items on the list are the Final Revive Beacon and the Time Warp Pearl. Time Warp Pearl, I'll start with that one, because a lot of people, I think, already know what that is. Oh, okay. You throw it, and you teleport, and after 3 seconds it'll teleport you back to wherever you were. It costed 3 gold, or not 3 gold, sorry, 3 emeralds. Something to note is, while you throw it, like, say this is a Time Warp Pearl, if I threw it over there, I would not be able to throw another pearl until I get teleported back. And, okay, this is probably one of the most confusing items of the Bed Wars item rotation. The Final Revive Beacon, which costs 16 emeralds. Once you place it, after a minute it will revive dead teammates. Dead as in, like, took a final death. Though it doesn't remove final deaths is the thing, I should mention that. Because a lot of people are wondering that. So if you take a final death, you will not be able to remove that final death. And technically you can take 2 final deaths in 1 game, which is very unfortunate. How it would work is you place the item, and then back at your base where your bed was, there will be a beacon beam, and I'm getting so unlucky with fireballs, what the heck. And at the beacon beam, there'd be a beacon, and other players, like your enemies, can break it to sort of disarm it. But after a minute, if it's not broken, it will respawn dead teammates. Once again, in solo, a lot of people thought it did nothing in solo, because it says it just revives dead teammates. But if you place it right before you die, and the player in the game doesn't break it, or a player in the game doesn't break it, it'll actually revive you after you take a final death. I think now is a good time to mention that if you do want more like in-depth information about the items, I have made videos about every single one of the rotations, which I'll link the playlist in the description and like in a little card at the end. The next items on the list are Packed Ice and the Mega TNT, which I feel like that was one of the more boring weeks of the item rotation, because, you know, Mega TNT isn't the most interesting thing. It's just TNT that breaks glass. Oh, and the TNT also has a longer timer, so that just kind of makes it a little bit more useless, because I feel like it's, you know, you just break a piece of glass and place a normal TNT. Like, I don't think that's that difficult. It's different if maybe it's like a full glass bed defense, just only made of glass, but like really an emerald for TNT that takes longer to blow up and just breaks a bit more glass. It also doesn't have a bigger explosion, even though it's called Mega TNT, which, you know, that would make it a bit better, I guess, if it like had a bigger explosion, but it just doesn't. And the other item for that week was just packed ice, just normal Minecraft packed ice. Packed ice was more of just like a bridging item, I'd say. You weren't able to bridge faster with it unless you stood on the very corner. Just because even though it's ice, you like walk, it's like slippery or something, so walking is kind of weird on it. But if you sprint jump on it, it is faster than just running. The other thing about packed ice is you would get lagged back quite a lot with it, because I think that's something about Watchdog and you running that fast, because you were able to go pretty fast if you had a head hitter above you and you were sprint jumping on ice or packed ice. The next items on the list are the hay bale and the unstable teleportation device. That week was a bit like interesting, because those were two items that like they've never done before, which was the same for a lot of them, but yeah, the chickens don't really do much. I died. Yeah, but that week was pretty interesting because the hay bale was like, it just completely just removed all fall damage, which in my opinion kind of like made water bucket clutching and ladder clutching a bit more relevant that week, because you could just place a single block and it would, and it would remove all fall damage. Okay, so the unstable teleportation device costed, I believe it was 7 gold, and it had a 1 in 3 chance to teleport you either to your base, a random part of the map, or like middle. This is one of the more like confusing items, I'd say, because, you know, at a 1 in 3 chance to teleport you to 3 different places, which, you know, that adds up, but like, you know, it was just kind of confusing. I think a lot of people found it confusing just because of like where it could teleport you to, because it felt kind of weird just being teleported to 1 out of 3 different places. The next items that were rotated were Sharpness 2 and the Bridge Zapper. Now, Sharpness 2 was very, very controversial, just because of like how much it costed and like what it did. Because if you're fighting someone without protection, and you had Sharp 2, like Diamond, I'm pretty sure you're able to 2-tap them, which 2 crits is like, oh, okay, yeah, it was a lot of damage. And the Bridge Zapper was an item that would just break like 16 blocks of a bridge, but it wasn't necessarily only bridges, it would just break 16 blocks of wool, so it can be used on anything from like a bed defense to like a trap. Say if like you just wanted to break this whole bridge and you're like hiding like down here or something, you could just click on it and it would break the whole bridge. Not instantly though, just made like, it was like maybe 3 blocks a second or something. I don't know, there's not really a way to explain it. And that's pretty much it for those items, and I'll get into the next items in the next game. The next items are the upgrade of Feather Falling and the Lucky Chest. Now, Feather Falling was actually like a good upgrade in my opinion, just because it wasn't prod, but it was like, I don't know, it was something new and it kind of made sense, just like, because in Bedwars there's a lot of falling, and like Feather Falling, I don't know, it just made sense. One thing about it though is it was located right here, and I just feel like there can be a better place for that, because right now in the, let me just show you, right now in the upgrade shop there's like this nice little like, you know, border of nothing, and they just kind of put a thing right there. The Lucky Chest was a bit weird though, just because how, it wasn't exactly a lucky chest. I feel like it was more of an unlucky chest, because sometimes you get scammed really hard, but other times you like profit a lot. I feel like it was a bug, but at one point it did give 20 gold. I don't think it was supposed to do that, because it cost 5 gold, and you know, 20 gold profit is a bit strange. Or not 20 gold profit, it's like 15 gold profit, but yeah. The next items were the Black Hole and the Shear Tears. like just like other tools have. Shears were given tiers for that week. With haste 2 and with haste 1 and tier 3 shears, you're able to insta break wool, which made for a lot of like funny traps because you could just destroy like any piece of wool like instantly. It was pretty crazy. I know that used to be a thing. Oh, this guy disconnected. I know that used to be a thing in old like prototype Bed Wars, but then like got removed for probably reasons that made sense, and then they kind of brought it back for a week, and yeah, and I'll get into the black hole in the next game. Now the black hole, probably something you'd never expect to see in a Bed Wars game, was added for a week. It cost 2 M's, and what we would do was spawn an end portal on whatever block you clicked it on, so you could spawn on like the side of blocks and stuff, and it would just pull any like sort of entity towards it, because once you're in a black hole, the only thing it'll try to do is pull you back in. Like even if you pearl out, it'll pull you like no matter where you are, no matter what distance. Once you're in it, you just can't leave because it'll pull you back. The next items are was Charlie the Unicorn and the Block Shuffler. I'll start with the Block Shuffler. It spawned an Enderman that would pick up nearby blocks. This doesn't include obsidian, by the way, because Enderman can't pick up obsidian. And it would just move them. Just like, you would just pick up random blocks that are nearby, and then just move them like a couple blocks over. Yeah, it's like good for breaking bed defenses and stuff. One of by far the weirdest items in this item rotation is Charlie the Unicorn, which is a horse that you can spawn in. I'm sorry, not a horse, a unicorn that you can spawn in, that will fly across the air for 10 seconds with a block trail behind it, but I think it's too fast for you to run on, for someone else to run on, sorry. So you can't have someone following you, and the blocks will break, but it's just like stained glass. I'll get into more in the next game, because he's quite interesting. So what Charlie the Unicorn did was he gave you flight for 10 seconds. Oh, that is an unfortunate time for bed break. Ooh, this guy's laggy. Or I'm laggy, one of the two. In my opinion, 4 emeralds for 10 seconds of flight is a pretty crazy deal. Just because how overpowered flight is. I believe the next items are the Devastator Bow and the Illusion Trap. Or wait, maybe it was the Illusioner. Either Illusioner or Illusion Trap. Something about illusions. This guy's sharp. So the Devastator Bow is actually a lot... I wouldn't... Yeah, it's whatever you think of it. It sounds really scary, and it is sometimes, but other times it isn't. Because what it does is for the first shot, it'll deal half of your enemy's health. Just whatever half their health is, that's how much damage it'll do. But then it'll just keep halving it. So technically, it can actually never kill someone, because you can't really half a heart. So it'll just kind of make them take damage tick, but won't do anything. It does only have 5 uses though. Yeah, it was 2 M's for dealing, ooh, that's not remember. 2 M's for dealing half of someone's health in the first shot, but then after that, it would just do no damage. Is there a... No, there's barriers. Diamond armor, diamond sword. I'm just gonna let them fight. Okay, wow, he did like, oh, he got him to half. Alright. The illusion trap, actually, in my opinion, was not that bad of a trap. Or not that bad of an idea. It was a really good trap. But it was like, it sort of made sense in Bed Wars, I guess. Because what it did was, it would teleport whoever took your trap back to their base. It wouldn't kill them, it would just teleport them away. It only had 1 purchase per game though, which made sense, because if you were able to buy it multiple times, that would be pretty broken. I just got destroyed, holy crap. Something to note is that if you already have a trap, it will cost more. I believe it costs 6 diamonds if you already have a trap, but normally it would only cost 3 diamonds. We are kind of nearing the end of the list, so if someone skipped all the way over here, I should say that if you want more information about the items, I have made full length videos about all of the items, and I'll leave the playlist to those in the description. The next items on the list are Snowman and Cobwebs. Now the Snowman was, did not land on a ladder in the right way. The Snowman was a bit interesting because it died really fast and did not have the greatest aim. So that's kind of two negatives, but it was like okay sometimes, like rotting and stuff, but you know, maybe not the best. I'll continue talking about the Snowman in the next game. Alright, so like I ended last game with, the Cobweb, or not the Cobweb, sorry, the Snowman, costs 40 iron, and, you know, I don't know about it. It dies really fast. It has, like, I think, it automatically despawns after 60 seconds, but if it gets, like, crit once, I think it's with a sharp iron, or just with an iron sword in general, I'm pretty sure it'll die. And, you know, there's a lot more you can do with 40 iron other than have something that'll die in like 1 second. Yeah, so in my opinion, I just think it's more worth it to spend your iron on something more useful, such as a fireball, or pretty much anything else, because it just dies way too fast. For the Cobwebs, it's a bit different, because when I recorded the video, the prices were really different. It was like messed up, I think. I don't think it was supposed to be like that, because it was, for 20 gold, you'd be able to get 24 Cobwebs, I believe. But then right after I recorded the video, they changed the price to what it is now, I believe, which is purchase limit of 4, and for 3 gold, you were able to get 4 Cobwebs. They don't really affect PvP that much, but you are able to get people stuck in them, which is sometimes kind of funny. But they can get, like, same hits as you, and they just won't take any knockback. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the Cobwebs. But for the Block Zapper, which, oh, thanks for the Block Zapper is like, here, I'll let this guy kill me. Here, kill me. Alright, I need to talk a little bit longer in this game. So the Block Zapper, not to be confused with the Bridge Zapper, two different zappers, they're just very, very similar. The Block Zapper, what it does is it breaks any player placed block. So you can't break blocks that are like on the map like this, but like say endstone, not this endstone, but like endstone on a bed defense. You'd be able to break it, and this includes obsidian actually, which, you know, it's a bit strange because with a price of 3 gold, you're able to break obsidian, like multiple pieces as well. Yeah, but you're able to instantly break any block, any player placed block. But yeah, it was 3 gold to be able to break any player placed block, which is a bit strange because for a diamond pickaxe, it costs a total of 9 gold. It just kind of removes the purpose of pickaxes and axes, I'd say, because you're just able to insta break any block, which is, you know, that's a bit weird, but, you know, if they wanted to add it, they did. But that's pretty much it for this Bedwars item rotation. I don't know if they're going to do any more or just continue rotating these for like a couple years, which kind of would go against what they were saying, because they said they don't want Bedwars to become stale, just with like the same items. But if they just make these all part of the rotation, then it's just gonna become more stale. And yeah, if you like my content, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. This video actually took a while to make, just because of how many items there have been. If you like this texture pack, I'm releasing it at 500 subscribers. There are a bunch of different versions of swords, other than these. Looks like there's 10 in total. There you go, right here. There's 10 different swords. I didn't make all of these. There's credits in the pack folder thing. But yeah, I switched through them through different videos, and there's like some cool things, such as like the bigger diamonds. Let me go over there for a second. Yeah, the bigger diamonds. There's also bigger emeralds, so you can see them easier. There's a little red line around obsidian. I'll show you. You'll see in the pack release video once I eventually get to 500, I think. But yeah, it's mainly Bedwars based, but it can be used for other games. And yeah, thanks for watching. This video took a while to make, as you can probably tell from... Actually, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but probably a little bit long, because it's like 27 items in the rotation, I think. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.
Better watch out, cause the boys back in town, swerving on the block and then coming back around, talking all the shit, pussy boy, you a clown, gotta keep my money up and leave my ops down. Little bitch, why you still talking, why you still watching? Oh, you just mad cause I pops with 10k shopping, bitch, stop calling.